Welcome to my latest experiment. This is a big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
What is it?
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Oh my God.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
And there is no one that does it better.
The Guy and Harley podcast, streaming all over your face.
Perhaps that was the most important part.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Pigville on the internet. She asked, "What have I learned since getting richer? I learned working with the negatives could make for better pictures. I learned Hennessy and enemies is one hell of a mixture. Even though it's fucked up, girl, I'm still fucking with ya."
Yeah.
Welcome along to the Guy and Harley podcast. I'm Guy Pigden.
And I'm Harley Neville. Who was that?
It was a young man by the name of Drake.
Drake. He is one of your favourites at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, I am listening to a fair bit of Drake.
You've been thrashing him.
I have been listening to him. That's a bit of older Drake, to be honest. But,
right.
Yeah, so welcome along to episode 35.
Yeah, so on.
Which is...
Really not that far away from 52.
Well, the podcast is older than us now. In episodes to years ratio.
I see what you did there. So we're sitting here and sipping on a Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, right. This is wine. Shit.
This is wine. Yeah.
No.
Oh, it's all we've got. It's all we've got.
Right.
So
drunk all the Fireball whiskey, did you?
And it's lunchtime. I just haven't bought another one because it's like $50 a bottle and you keep drinking it. So
ain't got any more of that, have you?
No, I haven't picked up any more of that. So you can stick with this cheap Sav to drink, in the middle of the day before you go to work.
Before I go to work, where I drive around searching for parking wardens.
Right, I'm going to work as well.
But you won't be searching for parking wardens.
No.
You'll be looking to avoid them.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a job as a mystery shopper where I go up and quiz parking wardens.
Because it's not all glamour in the film industry.
That's right.
And sometimes filmmakers have to take a few jobs to make ends meet. So a guy's got a full-time job on top of his full-time writing and editing, and then he's got his second part-time job,
yeah.
which is
this is actually an acting role. They consider this is through action actors, and this is what they consider an acting role because I'm playing the part of someone that wants to know about parking, and I'm inhabiting this role. I'm not myself. I'm this person, and maybe I'll start an altercation with the person that I'm talking to. I'll get into an argument about my ticket, and so this is the thing. I go up and quiz them, and then I review them. I write a review, like a little sort of essay about were they well presented? Did they look good? Are they were they polite? Did they know the answer to my question? And so I am, who watches The Watchmen? Me. I do. And I'm like, you want to talk about vigilantism. You want to talk about Batman. Well, I'm a real life Batman because who do we hate? Parking wardens. Well, I'm keeping them on the fucking straight and narrow. And getting rid of the worst, the most churlish. I get them out the door with a bad review.
No, but the thing is, Guy, that you are employed by the council, the same people that employ the parking wardens. You are essentially trimming the fat and making it a more efficient machine. You're getting rid of the people that are real slack, that are not showing up where they're meant to be, the ones that are not issuing tickets when they're meant to be issuing tickets. You are getting them fired because you're like, oh, I went to try and find this warden and he wasn't in his designated area, therefore that's a strike against his name, and they'll remove him and replace him with some fucking Nazi. So you are part of the problem, and let's not dress it up. You are making them more efficient.
I see how you phrase that, but I'm keeping them honest. All the rude,
No, you're not.
You've ever talked to a rude parking warden and you're like, shit, man, he just shat all over me and he gave me a ticket. Boom, I've got that guy's number and I'm taking him down.
Yeah.
Fucking hit on this man. That's me. I'm sneaking up behind and boom, take him out.
Sneak up on you like a sniper at your back door.
Yeah.
To quote Vanilla Rice. Yeah, so do you ever like dress up, like I don't know, put on a funny hat or a dress or something to sort of help yourself get into the character of, like
Well, I do put on a funny dress, but that's completely unrelated. No, I mean, I have a beard at the moment, which is actually quite a good disguise for looking different. Because the thing is, you see the same people over and over again. It's just, several months later.
Yeah.
And you expect them not to remember. But I would remember every person that came up and asked me a weird question, like out of the blue.
Well, especially because as a parking warden, that there are
people,
mystery shoppers.
Exactly. But, I very rarely see the trigger of recognition in their eyes. So either they're very good actors or they really don't give a shit about helping people that approach them and are in cruise control at all times.
I hate parking wardens because they are, let's not dress it up. They are snitches. That's what they are. They're snitches. They are people that choose to narc on their own people in their community. Their job is
blood.
to walk around and narc on their fellow citizens. That's their job. Like professional narc, snitch. That's what they do. And there's no other way around it. This is what they do.
I'm the professional narc to the narc.
Yeah, you're the professional snitcher. You snitch on the snitches. It's like snitchception.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, but I hate those cunts. Like, honestly, if there is ever a violent revolution in our society one day in the future, if, climate change and things all go downhill, you know who they're going to be hanging, right? They're going to be hanging the politicians, the tax man, and the fucking parking wardens. That's who it's going to be.
Yeah,
and that's who it is in traditional, revolutions. It's these tax people and government people that all get hung, during the revolution. Well, that'll be the parking wardens, and I'll be there, brandishing the flame
and pitchforks.
The pitchfork.
The interesting note about that is that the parking wardens at night are in a great waste of taxpayers' money, or considering, it depends whether you consider the parking warden's safety a great waste. But every parking warden is accompanied by a security guard.
Yeah,
because
so it doesn't get fucked up.
Because apparently, at some point in time, yes, at night, parking wardens have been attacked.
Yeah,
for being annoying.
Yeah. For being dirty snitch rat cunts is what they're for. I don't even drive a car anymore. I don't even have to worry about it, but I still hate them.
Yeah, well...
Did we tell about the time that some parking wardens came to try and live in our flat?
I think we did mention it.
There was two women that came along to stay in the room, and they were nice enough, and then and it was like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a filmmaker and shit. No, what do you do? And they were like, oh, we work for the council. We work for the parking wardens. And I was like, get the fuck out right now.
And they're like, well,
no, get out.
They're like, but we're just a couple of, but get the fuck out right now. We don't like him. I still feel like I'm doing a good service. You're right, though, that I may have been streamlining them into cold-blooded killers.
Yeah, you are. You are part of the machine.
To some degree. But I still feel like, every time I get a parking warden for being a rude prick to me, and I'm very lenient as well. Like, I give them all chances to be nice and polite and helpful. But if they do cross that line, I'm like, that's right, bitch. Yeah. You're going down.
Yeah. I'm going to take away your family's source of income.
I'm going to take away your livelihood and make you struggle desperately.
Your kids will be hungry. Should have been nice.
I'm going to throw you into a dire financial situation which may take you years to get out of.
So that's good.
I take a great pleasure in that.
Oh, no, good. Fair enough. That's the kind of people we are. I'm with you 100%.
But anyway, this is a filmmaking podcast, a live podcast. Saw a film the other day. Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Very good. Recommend it.
Yep.
Normally I don't really like biopics because they're just very formulaic and it kind of, this one didn't quite take that same route, and it was also just very cool to be in that, go back to that era, go back to that time and see these guys, young Dr. Dre, what he was dealing with, Eazy-E and how he, got AIDS And you know, it was a very fascinating thing to see. You know, also that's what I think is like, you know, if you're not really a part of history, if you come after that moment in history, whether it's a world war or like sort of a rap movement, or, you know, just something significant and a significant time, or you weren't part of that, you just kind of go, oh yeah, that thing happened. You know, oh yeah, NWA came out and there was some riots, and you know they were investigated by the FBI and all this crazy shit happened. But you're like, oh yeah, but you know, Dr. Dre's cool, and you know, I don't see what that was, but then, you know, put into the context of a movie in the same way that, you know, you see, you know, sort of a World War II film, you're like, oh, holy shit. Like, that's what it was. Like, that now that I've actually been brought closer to it, you're like, suddenly like, fuck, the NWA was this, like, phenomenon at the time and broke so many boundaries and, you know, just kind of changed the face of certainly rap music. And you know, it was like at this real kind of strange time in history, around the time of the Rodney King beating, which they address in the film, and how people were treated. And now you look back and you go, what? Everyone was treated like that? Oh, that's crazy. You can't even believe it. But so I recommend that, Straight Outta Compton. Very good film.
Good. It's on my to-watch list.
I also watched another film, which is a little closer to home. Jonathan King. Do you know who that is?
He's the guy that directed Black Sheep.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And Under the Mountain, which was his follow-up film. And yeah, so he did that, and then
he directed me once.
Did he?
He did.
What did he direct you in?
I was an extra in Black Sheep. He was walking around with a severed arm. That was it, and he was using it kind of to point at people and stuff. He was using it as like his pointing kind of. He's like, "You there?" and pointed at us with, like, you know, a severed arm.
Can you see yourself in Black Sheep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, can't miss me. If you know exactly where to look at exactly the right time.
So
I am, if you're ever out there watching Black Sheep, I am in like the very last shot, so you can't really miss me. I'm in the very, very last shot, and Oliver Driver, who's a big tall actor, he comes and stands right next to me.
You're in the last shot?
Yeah, it's
the
like
whole
it's this like crane shot that comes up.
And you're in there.
It comes up from, I don't want to give away what's happening really, but you know, there's a bunch of people sort of standing around somewhat sheepishly, and it's sort of a big crane shot that starts off kind of close on these sort of business people on a farm, and it kind of pans out, or, you know, lifts up, cranes up out, and gets wider and wider, and you sort of reveal the rest of the farm. And I'm right there standing next to Oliver Driver. Right.
Well, also there's been some controversy because we keep telling everyone that we're the first zombie film since Peter Jackson's Brain Dead in the last 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
Right? And people go, what about Black Sheep? Let's just set the record straight right now. What are they, Harley?
They're were-sheep.
They're not zombies.
They're not zombies,
They're
are they?
were-sheep.
They're were-sheep.
Okay?
They're very obviously were-sheep.
And even if they were zombies, they're zombie sheep. We said the first zombie movie, not the first zombie sheep movie.
Yeah.
So either way, we're right.
Well, it doesn't even matter because they're definitely were-sheep. That's what they are. They're were-sheep.
Yeah, that's true. You know, or a character morphs into a werewolf sheep. Yeah. Not a zombie.
Certainly not a zombie.
He's got fur and sheepish features.
Yes.
And hoofs. So, you know, so take that.
Take that.
Dissenters.
All three of you dissenters that bothered to reply to us.
Occasionally point out these things to us. So anyway, I sort of know Jonathan in a roundabout way. He was my mentor in the escalator workshops. And the escalator workshops were part of the process for receiving the money to make the zombie film.
I Survived the Zombie Holocaust.
Which is available now
on iTunes,
DVD, everywhere. And, you know, he was very nice. He was very, you know, he was very helpful, and he had some great advice. And also, you know, he was sort of, you know, he has directed, you know, Black Sheep is one of our most successful films of all time. It grossed, I think, it was over £6 million in
I heard that too.
In the UK. So, like, internationally, Black Sheep is one of our most successful, like very, very high up. And, it was distributed by Miramax, and it was just, like a very, influential seminal film, which probably isn't given enough credit for either, being that, and he's not given quite enough credit for that. And then he went on to do Under the Mountain, which was less successful, and I think kind of got a bit, it was a very expensive film to make, and just kind of escalated.
Is it Under the Mountain, is it based on the books?
Yes,
Under
yes,
the Mountain.
it is.
Well, I read those books when I was a kid.
So it's based on the books, and I don't really remember the books, so I can't really say how close or accurate it is, but basically that film came out at the same time as Avatar, the same week as Avatar,
right?
And so that kind of like really, people want to see Avatar,
But if you're gonna go to the
you go see a glorious 3D, the first true 3D film,
which I was also an extra in. Just add that in there, and once again, if you know where to look, you can see me.
So he's sort of been like quiet, and I guess to a degree fell out of favour with the film commission after having done Under the Mountain and it not being quite as successful.
Have you seen Under the Mountain?
I have seen Under the Mountain.
And is it good?
Well, it is a kid's film,
right,
to some degree.
Yeah.
And it looks very beautiful. It's very shot very nicely and stuff like that. It didn't grab me, I guess, in the same way. Like, I thought Black Sheep was better. But it's hard to say, and it probably deserves a rewatch.
Yeah.
But it's because I haven't, and also I wasn't a fan, because I didn't know anything about the books. It was hard to know. Is it good? Is it is it accurate? Is it faithful to the books? So I haven't really seen that, but and he's always been very good. He's been very helpful for me, and we've stayed in touch. After the zombie stuff, and he's given me advice on certain things and helped me with a sort of application that I was writing. So he's a very nice guy, very cool dude. And he's just released this micro budget film called Reality, which is now, I sort of only found out, he just put it out online like a few days ago. And with very little fanfare, he's self-distributed, so it just goes up on Vimeo. Anyone can download it. It's $5. And what I was most...
Anyone in the world?
Yeah. I think it's completely international. And I guess what I found most fascinating about the whole thing was that that was a micro budget film, so that was not supported by the film commission. That's all his money, and it's very similar to Older, shot on the same camera as Older,
our second feature film, Older, which you can find on Facebook by searching Older the movie.
And it's shot for sort of a similar budget, so it's micro budget, it's very small budget, it's all his sort of money, and he did everything himself. He was the cameraman on it. It was a small crew, just like Older.
Was he filming in Auckland?
No, he was filming in Wellington. And it stars Graham McTavish, who is plays one of the dwarves in The Hobbit.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
He plays one of the dwarves in The Hobbit, and also I can't remember the actor's name, but he was the main guy in Black Sheep.
Right.
He was the guy that had the phobia of the sheep.
Right.
In Black Sheep. And anyway, I was just very impressed by it. It was very beautifully shot. It was, and I think if you want to see an example of what can be done with a very modest budget, but, it's a science fiction film, and it's kind of a very quite cerebral kind of, mind-bendy type of film.
How long did it take him to make it?
Well, I think he shot it in sort of chunks in 2013, and now it's just coming out now.
Yeah.
So it's a classic. Took a little while to get done, and he said that he just sort of didn't want to spend much more time on it. He wanted to just get it out there.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I recommend checking that out. But if you're a sort of aspiring filmmaker, if you're interested in independent film and just supporting New Zealand filmmaking, Reality, you can download it on Vimeo. It looks great. It sounds great. Awesome score. And just, I guess, if you want to see what can be done for sort of a micro budget, that's a great example.
Do you know what the micro budget was?
I can, but I don't think I'm allowed to.
Right.
To divulge.
Oh, so you tell me afterwards.
Yeah.
Insider information.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, those were my two films. But shall we open up our favorite segment?
Okay, we can definitely do that. Our favourite segment of the show, which is the troll hole. Terrible.
The troll hole is becoming more frequent.
We should probably
got a lot more trolls. More trolls recently.
We should probably record an actual intro for that.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah. Well, we're getting more trolls. That means we're getting more views. That means we're getting more talk. You know, let them hate. Let them hate me, provided they fear me.
As Julius Caesar once said.
Was that him?
No, it was Alexander the Great, wasn't it?
Nah, well,
Who was it?
I don't know. Some old Greek or Roman. I don't know.
No, was it that Genghis Khan?
No, I think it was. I don't know. I think it was like a Roman emperor.
We're gonna look into
Caligula. I don't know. I don't know.
We're gonna look into that.
But let them hate us, provided they watch our video.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a comment on our the trailer to our second feature film, Older. Now this will hurt guys' feelings because
right.
you know it's one thing to get some hate on the zombie film.
Sure.
So there was one thing to get some hate on our gay Hobbit parodies.
Yeah.
You know, but not Older.
Not Older.
Not our baby.
No, this is made with all heart and soul and sentiment and you know it's also it's not a joke, so you can't just attribute anything to be like, oh well, you don't get our humor.
Yeah, you just don't get it. Yeah, it's a drama.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So anyway,
has anyone ever said, yeah, you just don't get our drama?
Yeah. That's what we'll say. Yeah. So this is on YouTube, Macus Die. That's his name. That's his YouTube channel name, Macus Die. He says on our beautiful baby, he says, I think that they're not waiting for an Oscar. To which I replied, yes, we are. To which he replied, sure. An Oscar made of what? Mache paper? Rubber? Rubber.
Mache paper?
Yeah, I guess he's...
What did he say?
Paper mache. Maybe he's some foreign fruit.
Rubber.
And then my reply. Now, you know, I never know whether, you know, because you've always got different options for how to reply to trolls, you know, and with the ultimate goal being to either shame them hilariously or convert them.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, you can sometimes you can be abrasive, sometimes you can try and be witty, sometimes you know, I went for the guilt trip for this one.
Yeah, okay.
So my reply was, you're breaking my heart here, Macus. We have spent 2 years so far and a lot of money to make this. Not only that, but we're genuinely very proud of it. No, just left it at that. The guilt trip. No reply. He didn't reply to that.
Yeah, because he was so shamed
by his behaviour.
That he went and, you know, jumped off a cliff probably.
Well, we can only hope.
Macus. You better lay off them Macus.
Yeah.
Because we're coming for you.
Yeah. And we're going to eat you. So yeah, that is the troll hole for this week.
But you know, look, hey, you know, it's one thing we you know, look, we're objective, okay? You know, we make light of our faults quite often, and we're big enough men to say that, you know, some people do hate our stuff.
There's definitely some people that hate our stuff,
and read those for your amusement, because we're big men and we can accept it. But you know, let's not always focus on the negative. We do get positives.
We do.
And in this situation, you know, someone went to the trouble of getting drunk
and recording
themselves. An endorsement, yeah.
So we actually got an endorsement from Congasm. That's his YouTube name. He created a video and uploaded it, and we're going to play you a little slice of it right now.
Before I get into that, okay, these New Zealand dudes, they spent like 5 or 6 years making a film. It's called I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, or however the fuck you want to say it, Holocaust. Okay. So they made that, and it came out, and it won a whole bunch of awards and like little film festivals and shit. And I've been talking to the directors on Facebook, and I managed to score myself a signed copy of their movie. So, if you haven't already, go out and get this. And don't be a cunt, and be a motherfucker and pirate that shit. You know, I pirate everything, but support these dudes. This is a damn good flick. Alright.
And that was
Congasm.
the
endorsement.
The endorsement of film.
So listen to it.
So you see, you got positives and negatives.
Positives and negatives, you know. We've got supporters and detractors. So in all seriousness, thank you, Congasm, for that. And please go and find Congasm on YouTube and subscribe to him. Because he really didn't need to do that, and he really didn't need to buy the movie, but he did. So
he probably also didn't need to get that drunk.
Probably didn't need to get that drunk and do those big burps. But each to their own, you know. Each to their own. That's fine. That's fine. So there was something else here. Mm-hmm. Facebook is bringing in a dislike button. Have you heard this? Have you read about this?
I have heard rumours of this. I actually saw someone tweet. So he sent a funny Twitter. He goes, so Facebook is now getting a dislike button. The only problem is I have to scroll back through 8 years and dislike everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Fair cool.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm a little bit concerned. As a man who who sometimes posts things...
Controversial.
Well, it's not like I'm up there posting like super controversial stuff, but I do... Sometimes it's a bit abrasive. Sometimes I'm a little bit trolly on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, you know, nothing too major, but I'll just post some things sometimes.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and the good thing about Facebook is it's like, what are you going to do? Just not like it? Ha ha. You know? Like, I don't give a shit. You know, like if one person likes it, well, that's more likes than dislikes, isn't it? You know, because there's nothing they can do apart from like, you know, comment negatively. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a concern. I really don't know where my how this is going to affect my Facebook experience.
Yeah,
because, you know, like for example, I just recently uploaded an album to Facebook called "Rats That I Murdered." And it was, you know, a series of hilarious photos of the rats that I've killed. You know, reasonably funny, humorous. But it did receive some flack from people.
Yeah,
it did receive some flack from animal lovers who said that the rats had a soul and that they shouldn't have their corpses paraded on Facebook publicly.
Defiled.
Yeah.
The memory of the rattisness.
Yeah.
Defiled by putting on Facebook for people's amusement.
Yeah. Bragging about it. Bragging about murdering their poor little souls. So that would no doubt have gotten some dislikes. I'm fairly confident they would have gotten some dislikes.
If you were the soul of a rat, though, right, would you care?
Well, yeah, because even the rat wants to live, man.
Okay, I get that, right. But okay, he's dead. His soul's gone to wherever it goes.
Well, it doesn't exist.
But I'm talking hypotheticals here, Harley.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So the soul has gone up into the air, right? Now, presumably, the rat doesn't have Facebook. Because he's a fucking rat.
Yeah.
Okay?
So he doesn't...
Not only does he not have a Facebook, but if he did have a Facebook... he couldn't read it because rats can't read either, right?
Yes.
So there is no possible way that the soul of the rat, hypothetically speaking, if he has gone up to wherever he's gone, if he's stolen about this ball of energy, whatever he's doing, right?
He's not on Facebook.
He's not on Facebook.
And neither's his surviving family members.
So the rat's feelings in this instance are redundant.
Yeah.
They can be disregarded.
Yes.
Because, you know, just thinking from a rat perspective for a second, no reason to care about that. He's thinking about a big block of cheese in the sky.
Yeah. He's moving on. Hell, he's grateful.
Yeah, because
it's a quote Rust. That's almost a quote from Rust from True Detective. He says that when you look into the eyes of dead people, you see that at the last nanosecond they felt a release and they were grateful.
Yeah. So yeah. So the I guess that argument of like the only people that it's really affecting is whoever is reading it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, isn't it? That's, you know, that's all Facebook is. It's all about, you know, the person reading it and the person posting it. You know, the person reading and the person posting. They're the only ones really affected.
But you can't take responsibility for rat souls.
No, You can't.
On the internet.
Well, not just that, but, my line of thinking when I uploaded this controversial Rat album was, I was like, well, it's funny.
Yeah.
B, it's going to provoke a response.
Yeah.
And C, it's a good cause. Like, people do need to know, because we've spoken about this before, there was a young woman that hit me up about killing rats because she thought that rats were, like, native to New Zealand. They were part of our what's the fucking word?
Food chain?
Well, yeah, the food chain. Close enough. That's not the word I was looking for, but yes. They're all part of our...
Ecosystem?
Ecosystem, that's the word. She was like, oh, yes, they're part of the ecosystem. Like, no, they're not. They're not part of the ecosystem. They're a horrible pest. They're brought in. They're wasting, like, the kiwi. They're eating all our, our trees. The flora and fauna is all getting all munched up by all of these introduced pests. And over time, in 100 years, there's not going to be any kiwi left because all the rats ate them. The rats ate all the eggs.
Yeah.
And we need to all,
it's going to be a ratpocalypse.
A ratpocalypse, exactly.
If Harley Neville now does not take the stand for righteousness to restore balance to the Force, if you will,
yes,
and kill all these rats,
yes,
and then post pictures for the cause
to raise awareness. Now, in the description, I did post some information about rats and a link to a doc website informing people of rats and their effect on the ecosystem. So this was education here.
And I bet the people that complained did not take the time to read that.
I guarantee they did not, because they don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Now, from one type of ratpocalypse to another type of apocalypse, the catpocalypse,
yeah.
I have a concern about this dislike button, because I'm a little bit worried that, Facebook says that this dislike button is not supposed to be a dislike in the same sense that it is on Reddit. On Reddit you can vote things down and they disappear, vote things up and they get more visible. Yeah. It's supposed to be more like an empathy button. So, like, oh, boo-hoo, my willy is sore.
Your mum died.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to... So you can't click thumbs up on that.
You're feeling depressed.
Yeah, you can't click thumbs up on...
Like.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, congrats, your mum's dead.
Harley's feeling depressed. Like.
Yeah.
Because his mum died.
Yeah.
Like.
My mum's dead. Thumbs up. It doesn't make sense. You got to
don't want to like this, but this is the only thing I can do.
Exactly,
like.
Exactly. So it's got to be like an empathy button. And apparently that's what he's saying. It's like an empathy button. But Mark Zuckerberg is who's saying that. But I'm thinking, surely, as time progresses, it's not going to be used in that way. If you see something you don't like or you don't agree with, you're going to click this dislike button, even if it's meant to be used as empathy. It's going to be a dislike. And then it just seems to me that the people down at Facebook eventually are going to say, well, okay, well, hold up. Well, why don't we bury the stuff that's getting disliked? Yeah. And why don't we promote the stuff that's getting liked? Yeah. Makes sense, right? No, it doesn't, because what's going to happen is all the fucking pictures of cute cats are going to start getting likes. They're going to have 1,000
babies.
Babies and cats, baby and cat apocalypse, and it's just going to, that's what your newsfeed's going to be filled up with. Meanwhile, important but controversial things, posts about politics and religion and the climate and all these things, they're all going to get disliked, and they're going to disappear from our consciousness. Like, it is a disaster just waiting to happen.
You're right, Harley. It's dangerous, and it's also... There's no way that's not going to happen. It just makes sense for Facebook to take, like, what they want from this is to be able to take note of the trends on Facebook so they can tailor Facebook to those trends. It's as simple as that. That's why they want to do it. Because right now they can't do that really.
No.
And now they have, and that's another perfect thing for marketing and stuff like that as well. So it's very, Big Brother-ish, I guess, but, it's very... what's the word? It's sort of, it's like kind of trying to slip something. It's trying to hoodwink everyone, really. But we're too stupid. So it's up to me and you on this podcast to kind of be
to
like,
raise awareness.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
This is madness.
Yeah.
I mean, I am looking forward, if I ever go back on Facebook, to disliking all the stupid baby posts.
Well, it's true. Like, although that's the thing, you're going to lose so many friends.
Look like a sour bastard.
You're going to lose so many friends because imagine that. Someone or other posts a picture of their cute baby, and it's like, look, man, I don't give a fuck about your baby, and I don't really want to see it on Facebook.
And this is stupid and lame.
And this is like not what Facebook is for. I don't want to be inundated with pictures of your fucking baby. So you click thumbs down.
Yep.
no new parent is going to take kindly to you thumbing down their baby.
Yeah.
No chance.
No.
And if you know them in real life, they're going to take real life offense to
Double
it.
exception.
They're going to
to
take real life offense to you thumbing down, you know, because presumably it's not anonymous. It's not, 20 people thumbed it down, but these people thumbed it up. It's going to be such and such thumbed it down and such thumbed it up.
Yeah. And unfortunately,
Wars are going to get started over this.
There's very few truth tellers on Facebook, you know, like yourself and myself, that are willing to call people on their shit. You know, most people are going, hey, you got a baby, cool. Even though secretly in their head they're like, oh, fuck off. But it doesn't matter that secretly, because outwardly they want to present that, oh, you got a baby, oh, diddums are so cute. And so they want to present that thing, and then me and you go, oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Guess who gets the fucking shit?
Yeah.
Us. And we look like the guy, but we're the only guys. Like, actually, the split really was sort of 50-50 probably to people that actually like that post and hate it.
But everyone's a chicken shit.
But exactly. But actually, you're going to get 50 likes and 2 dislikes from Guy at Harley.
Well, speaking of calling people out on their shit on Facebook, right? I've got something that's been bothering me for a while.
Right.
This is something that a lot of people do. And it's when they give shout-outs to their dead relatives. You know?
Oh, please.
You know, and it's like, I understand that you know you've got some mourning to do and so on.
Yeah,
I get that, but you know, let's be really honest. Your dead uncle isn't on Facebook. No. He's not on there. He's not reading it. He's not in heaven on Facebook.
No.
If he's on Facebook in heaven, it's not heaven. It might be hell. You know? Yeah. So be worried. And so, look, he's not there. So what's this really about? It's not shouting out your uncle. It's getting attention for yourself.
And shouting out a cause for yourself, for people to like, for you to feel good.
Exactly. And like, that's okay as well, because, you know, you say, okay, well, look, you're going through a mourning process. You need some support and some attention. But, you know, surely there's better support than whoring out your dead uncle for fucking Facebook likes. It doesn't make sense. You know, you're shaming his memory.
Despicable.
And I, you know, like my dog Slade, right?
Yeah.
I had him for 13 years. And he was a very, very close, you know, I had a very close relationship with this dog.
Friend.
This was a dog that wasn't a family pet. It was when I got kicked out of home, he got kicked out with me. You know, we lived in vans together. We went everywhere together. He was very, very close to me, this dog, for 13 years. And when he finally died, I didn't post some big spiel on Facebook. I didn't do a big thing about it to get a whole bunch of likes. And it was because I felt like it was just cheap in his memory. Like, it's like, what? Why would I whore out my dead dog for Facebook likes? It doesn't make sense.
No.
So people, stop doing that.
Stop taking advantage of your
dead relatives.
So stop taking advantage of your mourning to get attention.
Yeah,
that is the problem. That's a societal problem right there.
We don't want to hear about dead people, and we don't want to hear about your babies.
Or cats. Let's get rid of cats.
Obviously, cats can go. That actually ties in nicely with this whole Ratpocalypse.
Yeah.
Was one of our American friends, trying to remember, Gordon. He commented on my Rat album saying, "Oh, this is not right. You shouldn't." I was actually really surprised because a lot of his posts are pretty funny and controversial. But he commented, "Oh, you know, like you shouldn't be posting these pictures of these dead rats up on here. It's no good. You know, blah blah blah. What's next? You're gonna, you know, like cats. I understand they're an introduced species, but cats are an introduced species too. What are you going to do next? Start strangling kittens?" To which I replied, yes. Yes, like actually, we do kill a lot of cats in New Zealand because wild cats are like fucking up the environment. They're out there right now, like hunting the tui, hunting the kiwi, hunting all of that our native birds into extinction, and they're this horrible introduced pest. And people aren't controlling their cats. They're not putting bells on them. They're
not neutering their cats.
Not neutering them. They just let them roam. Just open the door and let them roam around the suburbs and wander off into the hills and kill the animals. And it's no good. And so yes, I am pro the strangling of cats.
Pro cat strangulation.
You know, they do need to be controlled. And Gareth, what's his name? It's not Gareth Morgan. Gareth somebody. Gareth Hughes? I don't know, somebody. There's a sort of a guy over here in New Zealand that, you know, is actually campaigning for the slow phase out of cat ownership.
Yes, I read about that.
In New Zealand. And he just wants to phase out the ownership. So essentially, you know, your cat dies off, you don't get a new one.
Yeah.
You know, he's not talking about culling them all, but just, you slowly getting rid of it, because we're an island nation. There's only so much room here. There's only so many birds here, and there's X amount of million cats. Tens of millions of cats here, and they're doing massive damage. And I replied as much, basically saying yes, I do actually think we should control the cats, and we do kill a lot of cats here for conservation.
Yeah, and look, also, just get a dog, you sociopath. What is wrong? Like, just please understand that cats are fucking... They hate people, really. Yeah. They hate them, but they use them for their own benefit. Yeah. So they're like, look... You're
a food dispenser.
They're like, look, I don't really like you. I tolerate you barely. And show my disgust at you often. And yet you still go, oh, it's a cute little kitty. And give me... And look, just get a dog. Because dogs
love you.
Dogs legitimately love you. There's real love there. It's not about food or anything. That's your boy. That's your bond. That's a real thing. That's a real person. A cat is like a fluffy little murdering monster that, because it's cute, gets away with it.
Now you listeners out there might be saying, like, fuck you guys, what do you know about cats? What do you know about cats?
Well, I know a lot about cats,
let me
buddy.
tell you, guy knows a thing or two about cats.
I'm a cat specialist, all right?
He is.
Because my mum breeds cats.
Breeds them. I used to go over to his house, and there would be, at any given time, 20 cats, and you could go downstairs and find like 15 kittens, like cute, tiny, beautiful little cute kittens, and play with them.
and give them little pets.
And
that's the thing. So, like, I'm not speaking from a place of ignorance. I've had dogs. I've had cats. I understand the motherfucking difference. I understand what cats are at a base level. Just do a bit of research, all right? But anyway, so if we can kill all the cats, kill all the rats...
Save the world.
Save the world, guys.
Yeah.
Save the world.
Well, in all seriousness, like, I want, our grandkids one day to be able to, see this stuff in real life, these birds and these animals and these trees and these plants. I want them to be able to see them in real life instead of just reading about them in a book or watching a doco about,
or
the
walking
kiwi.
through a hologram show of them.
Yes, exactly, which is probably what they'll be doing. But
Holo parks.
Yes, exactly. We don't want that. We want to keep this stuff.
We want real parks, guys.
You've got to not be a sentimental idiot. You've got to be realistic and say, okay, cats are bad.
Yeah.
Cats are actually very bad for the environment. So let's get rid of them.
They're also very got a lot of disease.
Yeah.
They're like, if a dog bites you, that's not great.
Yeah.
And you should get a shot, right? But if a cat bites you, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Like, you will get a serious infection if you do not get that tended to. Like, and it cannot be a big scratch or anything. Because they're disgusting, dirty animals. Wow. So maybe we've gone too far.
I think we've successfully offended everybody in this.
Maybe we pushed the cat thing too far.
I think we've successfully offended everybody on Facebook in this episode. So that's good.
But look, man, it's always going to be cats versus dogs.
Yeah.
That's almost in human terms. Empathetic people who are kind and loving. Aloof, selfish people who are only self-serving and interested in themselves. That's cats versus dogs in a nutshell, right? On human terms. So either you're with us or you're against us. We fall into the dog category.
Yeah.
Wherever you fall, I know quite a few people that got some cats.
Yeah.
You might want to take a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Unless you have a dog as well, in which case that's okay.
Wow.
It's not too bad if you've got a cat and a dog.
Yeah. Now, we'd better touch quickly on Liam Hegarty. We'd better touch on him.
Right.
Because last week I said that he hadn't bought the film.
We accused him.
I called him out publicly.
Shamed him.
Besmirched his
Named
good name.
and shamed.
And I said he hadn't bought the film. Now, Liam Hegarty has bought the film. Right. He bought it in the first week that it came out.
Yeah.
He just hasn't watched it. So thanks a lot, Liam. Thanks.
Well, no, that is a lot better.
It is better, yeah.
That's way better.
I'm still happy, but buying it, that's great. I really appreciate it. But you got to watch it, man, and then you got to tell somebody else to watch it.
Yeah, man. I get so pissed off at work. Everyone's like, "Hey, man, what are you up to?" And I'm like, the film's come out, the film this, the film that. I've been talking about this film literally since the time I started there 3 years ago. And so many people were just like, yeah, I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just what I'm your colleague. I'm your workmate.
Yeah.
This is my life. You see me typing away. You see me editing the trailer to this. You see me, like non-stop emails to people.
Yeah.
You see me neglecting all my duties at work to do this thing, and you're not just a little bit curious.
Yeah.
Like if I found out something like they were having a gallery exhibition, or they were they were acting in a play, or they were they'd just released an album or something like that. I would and they sat across from me, I'd be really interested in that. I'd be like, oh shit, I at least gotta know what the hell this is about. Who is this person? What do they do? Liam, I think you're going to enjoy it. I think he's probably holding off because he doesn't want to be the bearer of bad news.
No, he gave me some excuse about wanting to watch it like on a good screen, like not just on his laptop. Like he wanted to watch it on something good, but he's only got his laptop to watch it on, which is, that's kind of fair enough. But,
That's borderline.
Well, you could wait a week to watch it on a good screen, but if it's taking longer than a week, well, just put it in your fucking laptop and watch it.
if it's taken 3 months, which it seems to have, maybe just watch it on your laptop.
Just watch on your laptop.
But yeah, well, look, so speaking of the zombie film, should probably honourable mention to myself.
Okay.
Because I just found out today that I am a finalist for the New Zealand Writers Guild Best Screenplay Award.
Nice.
For I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, and Best New Writer.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? I hope it was fucking good, because it's useless now, isn't it? Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur. No! Don't shut me up. This is the second time that he doesn't give a fuck. For fuck's sake.
Nice.
So we just got that. So we'll be going to the event.
Who?
And well, probably you'll probably
Do I get
go.
an invite?
Well, you just hit. Anyone can go. They just got to pay.
Right. Is it like the mowers?
Yeah.
Right. So it's an award night.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in. Count me in.
Yeah. Well, look, if it's one thing filmmakers enjoy, it's going to a meaningless award ceremony,
Getting drunk on other people's booze.
and for a short period of time, pretending you're important.
Yeah.
That's what we really like to do. That's our favourite thing. And obviously, without the mowers, really, the New Zealand Writers Guild Award is like one of the premier awards shows. It might be the premier awards show. So I'm nominated in 2 categories. Let's not delve into the fact that maybe there hasn't been that many feature films this year.
Yeah.
And then even less of those would be members of the actual Writers Guild. Let's not look too deeply into those things. Let's not question that.
Let's just take it at face value.
Let's just take it at face value. I've been nominated for an award because my script is cool.
Yeah, well, that's really good. That's great news. I'm very happy for you. I got some bad news, which was that I didn't get the ad that I was edging for.
Right.
How I was edging, you might recall last week.
All that cum you withheld was wasted.
It was wasted. Well, no, I just released it after my audition.
Yeah, but... you would have made some new cum by that stage.
Yeah.
That was old.
Stale
That was
cum.
old. Yeah, that was old, stale. Do not, sad cum by that
good
stage.
for nothing cum.
Yeah, that was weak, leaky cum.
So, I didn't get the role. I found out yesterday. This is a big deal because it was a big 18 grand, and it was like a cool role.
Yeah.
Singing, riding horses. It was going to be really cool.
So
Nothing.
one man's fortunes rises while another's falls. Yeah. But I also will say we are up against our mortal enemy.
Which one?
Deathgasm.
Right, yeah.
So, it's the battle of the zombie films.
Yeah, of the New Zealand zombie films.
And, Deathgasm has kicked our ass.
In every way,
in
shape,
every
and form.
Facet. In any way you could consider, they have kicked our ass. But maybe, just maybe, we might be able to get one back.
Yeah, well... It's a real shame that we don't have all that money and support that Deathgasm does.
And sort of experience of the sort of the people at the top who have sort of helped make that a success. The marketing savvy, the nous.
We definitely didn't have any of that.
We and the desire to see it sort of do well. We did not have those things, but
we had the desire, but not all of the team.
Yeah.
Not all of the team had the desire.
But we might have a better screenplay.
Yeah.
And we can only hope, because if not, we will be in or especially me, will be in a it's one of these things. It's like, would it have been better to be nominated for that? As I was, and I was like, I'll feel good now. But then when Deathgasm beats me,
it.
I'll be just so morose and destroyed and depressed. The feeling will be so awful that wouldn't have been better, perhaps not to have tried, to have not been nominated. So that
well, to that guy, I would say the answer is yes, and you should just stop trying. You should just stop trying. Don't bother nominating yourself for things. Don't bother submitting things. Just stop trying, because if you don't get it, it's going to feel worse. Just give up.
But then on the other hand, what if they had been nominated and we weren't even nominated?
Yeah.
Isn't that the ultimate blow of all blows?
Yeah.
That's the,
Yeah, but that was never going to happen because of the high-quality script that you submitted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, I'm just not looking forward to any Mortal Kombat-esque fatalities delivered onto me on that awards night.
Yeah.
I'd be quite happy, to be honest. I'd be very happy, and I do think this is actually quite likely, that the other film that's been nominated, which I don't know anything about, but it's called Shelby, if that won, that would be a very acceptable outcome for me.
Just anything but Deathgasm.
I just don't want to be killed by Deathgasm again. And I've got nothing against Deathgasm, as in those people. Congratulations, I'm real happy for you, and I'm going to let you finish. But I Survived a Zombie Holocaust was the first zombie film of all time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's I guess it's tough. It's tough to remain what's the word,
positive?
Well, not positive. Gracious. It's difficult to remain gracious.
Gracious in defeat.
You're gracious in defeat.
Yeah.
And it's not because there's anything wrong with Deathgasm or any of the people that worked on it. It's more just this idea that it's like, man, we worked so hard on this thing, and we're really proud of it and think it's really good. And at the end of the day, I really feel like one of the hugest sort of weaknesses of I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, one of the areas where it's really been let down is one of the strongest areas of Deathgasm, which is marketing, which is connections, which is getting it out in front of the right people. We just don't have any of that stuff. We're just a couple of dickheads from Dunedin making a fucking movie.
Sending out submissions blindly to festivals that have no knowledge of us.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Deathgasm obviously has Ant Timpson, a big important player in the New Zealand film industry.
One of the biggest. In fact, arguably at this point in time, one of the most powerful producer in terms of getting movies made. At this point in time. That's their guy.
Yeah, that's their guy.
Yeah. And also, they also had a distributor on board from beforehand through Ant Timpson.
Yeah.
And obviously also if you have a distributor pushing your stuff through the through the festivals and all that, that's just like another huge thing. It's like, so this, repped by, Dark Sky Entertainment and Ant Timpson.
Yeah. So
and a good film as well to boot. Well, that's an easy decision.
Yeah. Well, I guess the reason why it's difficult to remain gracious is because it's not necessarily that the film is any better than our film. It's because the film is better handled, better marketed, better managed than our film. And so it's like, well, it's just a
much more bitter pill to swallow.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily so much, the better man won on the day. It's more like, well, we didn't have a
we didn't have a better man.
We didn't have a better man. We just on our day.
Yeah,
we didn't even have our day.
Yeah. We'll watch Deathgasm and we'll see how when's it out.
I'm not sure. I think it's coming out on the States.
No, who gives a shit? So, moving on to the next topic, just quickly.
Well, do we have another one? Because
I do. You are late, but it's just quite a quick one.
Okay.
And it does need to come out today on this podcast. Is that harking back to the rat thing? The reason why I had a rat album on Facebook is because I am in a stuff.co.nz story about like shitty flats, because the Green Party is putting out sort of pushing forward this idea that rental houses should pass a warrant of fitness before they're eligible to be rented out, because we've got a housing shortage in New Zealand, which means that you can have any shitty old shack and you know it's going to get filled because people need houses, and you can charge an arm and a leg for them because people need houses. So the Greens are trying to push forward this thing that houses need to be up to a certain spec as far as like clean and dry and not drafty and stuff, which our house here would not pass, because our house here is mouldy and drafty and cold and uninsulated. And so through my connections, I managed to get myself being featured on this story about the rats and amongst other things, the rats that are here, the rats that I've caught. And so anyway, that story is coming out on Stuff on Sunday, which is today if you're listening to this, the day that the podcast is released. So it's out now. Basically, it's a story about that, so go out and check it out. It's on stuff.co.nz. I don't know exactly what it's called, but if you look up like stuff.co.nz, bloody,
if you look up
cold houses and rats and Harley Neville,
bald hairy guy Harley Neville rats,
something like that. But I will be sharing it anyway. I'll share it on the Guy and Harley podcast page. So facebook.com/Guy and Harley. I'll share it on the Pigville Productions page, facebook.com/Pigville Productions, and I'll share it on my own personal page, which you can find me by searching Harley Neville.
And you can find me on Twitter.
Now, Guy's changed his name on Twitter. It's a big deal.
I'm trying to become more professional. So this is the first phase. Because at GPZ, who the hell is GPZ?
Well, not only that, but
also the spelling of it's weird.
Yeah, your spelling of GPZ is not how I would spell
actually
GPZ.
GPZ.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, GPZ.
Yeah.
So that was wrong. And then on top of that, you're the director of a zombie film. So if people go, oh, I really liked that film. Somebody over in Germany goes, oh, I really like that film. I'm going to find the director on Twitter.
Yeah.
They search Guy Pigden and they don't find you.
Or they do, but then it says
GPZ.
GPZ?
Yeah. Then is that him?
This sounds like something Snoop Dogg would say.
You should change it to
in the year 2000.
Which is when you came up with that.
It's an antiquated saying that Snoop Dogg might say in the year 2000. This doesn't sound like a real director. It can't be him.
If anything, you should change your name to Director Guy Pigden.
Yeah, well, I just thought, if you search Guy Pigden,
you'll find it.
Yeah, and that's what obviously.
But do you think if it's called Director Guy Pigden, you'll get a whole bunch of like just random people that happen to stumble upon? They'll see Guy Pigden and go, so what? But they'll see Director Guy Pigden and say, well, he's a director, I'm interested. Click.
I don't know.
Follow.
I don't know. But I will say that it has not got me any more followers.
Well, not yet. Give it a chance.
But and that the next phase is I've got to update my website a little bit and be hyping the zombie film and presenting it as more as a professional instead of some loser who lives in Dunedin with his parents, which I was at the time that I started
the website. Yeah, which is guypigden.com.
Guypigden.com.
If you want to go and have a look.
So if you want to just see the last vestiges of my sort of former life as an aspiring filmmaker and my thoughts at that time, you better log on now, buddy, because they're about to all go. It's all going to be thrown out.
Okay, cool. So thank you very much for listening. We will see you next week.
Yes, we will.
And make sure you find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Guy and Harley. And for the love of God, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. And subscribe.
And, for the podcast. And for the zombie film, if you just want to click on IMDb, give it a 10-star on IMDb.
Yeah.
Because we're dipping under that 5-star mark.
Yeah, we're really... Well, I didn't know we were going to talk about that, but yeah, we're at like 4.6 stars now out of 10.
Well, we need to rally our listeners.
We do, but the thing is, I was actually thinking, I really want to share this on the zombie page and say, hey guys, give us a 10. But I'm actually embarrassed.
You didn't want to depress people.
Yeah, basically, I want to embarrass
you didn't want to depress the cast and crew.
I kind of want to get it above 5 and then share it.
Yeah.
But that's a phone call for me, so
it's time for us to
go.
Get out of here.
Thank you very much. Good night.
See you later.
Hello?
Yes, is this Mr. Harley Neville?
Yep, who's this?
This is Video Easy Grey Lynn. We've been trying to reach you for several days about some overdue items on our system.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. We have 6 titles. Edward Penis Hands, The Cum Father, Casablanca, Arsvenger's Age of Cumtron, Bukkake Man Begins, and Cum Loving bitches need sperm. They're all 2 weeks overdue.
Well, you stock them.
Please return your weird pornos on time, sir. We're tired of having to call you. This is becoming a trend. Hello? Sir? Did you hear me? You have a lot of overdue porn.
Yeah, okay, I heard you, alright? Return the weird pornos. Yeah, I'll make sure those are returned. Thank you.
One more thing, sir.
Yes?
The Little Mermaid is also now a month overdue. You sick fuck.
You've been listening to the Guy and Harley podcast, proudly brought to you by Pigville Productions.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.